Okay, I can attest to it's a breakaway mount. You know, it's dropped my helmet from my handlebars and the camera popped off. So I guess that's a good thing. If you take a spill, you don't want that camera digging into the ground and twisting your neck all kinds of funny ways. But I wasn't even trying to test that. But it happened. Good morning, party people. I have totally messed up and made a mistake. And the mistake was I didn't take my camera on my last ride. And I probably had one of the funniest, I'm sure if it was on video, and probably one of the worst spills I've taken so far this year. Some of you that know me know that I have set a goal to accomplish a specific kind of obstacle and jump this year, and by the end of summer. And so I was feeling pretty confident Thursday night, went out and actually gave it a shot. Didn't quite make it, but was super close. I think the terrain was fairly wet, and so didn't really get a good run in. So I am pretty sore today. So I don't know if you can pick that up, but so that is one bruise that it's starting to turn yellow already. So it's been a few days, but so there's a big scratch there, and I managed to kind of catch myself on the edge of a wooden platform and kind of protect my ribs. I don't know how, it was probably luck more than anything. And then the left arm, this arm took it the worst. Show you here on my forearm. There's a bruise line around my forearm there. And that led me to actually obtaining a new helmet as well. So got a new helmet, and I'll show you that. Purchased this Bell. It's the 6er model. Fairly stylish looking helmet. It's pretty thick around the edges there. I typically like mine a little bit thinner, but we shall see how this helmet actually rides. It is a MIPS helmet, and it has the standard Y-strap clasp. I would prefer the magnetic one-handed clasp, but it is what it is. It does have the integrated Gopro Mount on the top, so it has a little push button there at the back, and you can remove that. So I know this is covering up the top vent with a camera mounted there, but it's going to be interesting to see how the airflow is. So this is a feature that I did just want to check out though. I don't often ride with the helmet cam, but sometimes I like to get out and just do some helmet cam stuff, so it's nice to have that integrated mount. Don't have to mess around with the stickies. The other thing is it has this 3-position visor. So here you can see it in the up mode, which gives you access there to put your goggles under the visor, or potentially you could probably mount a GoPro up under there as well. And then you have this kind of mid-range position, which is probably what I'll normally ride in, and a few clicks down, and then all the way down to the lowest position. Keep the sun out of your eyes. So anyhow, so yeah, so my other helmet's wrecked. It went through 2 spills, and on the last spill it actually took a pretty fair dent to the front upper edge there. So to protect this protect my head, I actually decided to purchase a new helmet. And you know, helmets for me are kind of we have a strained relationship, because I think I have an egg head, and so the top part of my head's fairly small. It's a fat head, but the top part is small, so I wear an adult size small helmet, and usually I have to clasp it down pretty far in order to get it stabilized. I can tell you, when I purchase a helmet, there's a few things that I look for. Number 1, does it feel like it's not there? That's very important. Number 2, does it have good airflow? Number 3, does it have some features that I find will help make the ride easier, like the adjustable visors. This one doesn't have it, but you know, holder for your glasses in case you want to ride with your glasses in the top. different kind of clasp mechanisms and things like that. Weight distribution for a helmet is important for me. Some helmets seem like they're heavier in the front, and you can tell when you clasp the helmet down on your head, you can feel it wants to kind of wobble to the front. Some helmets are more weighted toward the back, and some are, you know, fairly balanced. Be interesting to see how this one works with the GoPro mounted up on top. So I'm going to take this thing out on its second ride, and I'm going to mount a GoPro Hero 5 Session on top here, and come back and give you my it won't be my initial impression because this is the second time I've actually ridden with this helmet, but I'll come back and kind of give you my take. Alright, party people, just got back from a ride. Took the new helmet out, had a GoPro mounted to it. I didn't really test out riding with goggles, but I did test out riding with my the glasses I normally ride with. So first thing I'll say is you guys will see the video of this piece actually breaking away from the helmet, but it's kind of a spring-loaded front end here. You can see that, and so it is a breakaway. And also there's also some other kind of movement too, so I'll show you how it clips into the helmet. So the spring piece goes toward the back, and there's actually arrows on the front. You can see it down there that tells you which direction. So basically you just kind of put the front in, and the back just kind of clips in there. There is a little bit of play. I don't know if you can see this, so just a little bit of play in the camera. I think maybe it's kind of made like that. Probably part of the breakaway system. I can tell you this, it has about medium airflow, and it's probably pretty similar to Troy Lee Design's helmet that I was wearing previously. It wasn't super, I couldn't tell there was a super big amount of air flowing around my head, and I couldn't tell that it was super hot either, so it's probably somewhere in the middle as far as airflow. And the one thing I can say, there seems to be a little bit more weight in the front. If you take the camera off, the front wants to drop down on the front of my forehead a little bit further than I normally like. But with the camera on, it kind of balances out. So I don't know if that's intentional or if it's just the shape of my head. But that's pretty much the feeling I get now. So when we did when I put my glasses on, they certainly did not get in the way of the, usually they would interfere with the sides here. These are cut out enough where your earpieces on your glasses go and they don't get in the way. I also did notice that, you know, as normal with most helmets, after you wear it a few times, things starting to loosen up in the inside. The pads start to squish together when they get full of sweat. So I did have to tighten it down a couple times, and I'm getting pretty close to it being all the way tight. Like I said, I've got a weird egg-shaped head, and it gets small on the top, so I always have to buy like an adult small helmet to fit my head, and I usually have to ratchet it down pretty much all the way. And that's certainly the case when you carry additional weight on the helmet. For example, the camera. You can tell that it's up there for sure. And so in order to keep the helmet from moving around on your head, and I find it especially true with MIP systems, the harness inside that goes around your head, I definitely have to tighten those up more than I do on other helmets. So let's talk a little bit about the visor. The visor stayed in place no matter where I put it, so that's good. It kind of feels like it may not last, but it definitely held up. I don't know how it would do if you were to mount a camera up under the visor lid, but you know, seeing how they have a mount up here, I probably wouldn't do that anyhow. So let's talk a little bit about goggle fitment. So the one thing about goggles, you know, as you wear them, there's a couple of things that you're concerned with. Is there enough space around the helmet for the goggles to kind of fit up and not have, you know, part of the edge of the helmet actually getting in the way of the goggles so that they don't fit on your face. And the other thing is the strap area. When you put goggles on, there should be a fairly flat area back up here, and usually there's a ledge somewhere in this area here to keep the strap from riding up and over the top of the helmet. This one has a very, it is somewhat flat. It doesn't have a ledge, but it does have this little gripper back here. It's kind of a rubber silicone type gripper. And so yeah, let's check it out. I'll put the goggles on and let you see how the goggles fit on the helmet. And as you can tell in the front, these goggles fit actually pretty good. You know, sometimes the goggles, if the tear off areas are too wide or not wide enough, they'll interfere. So you have your goggles there. Now, the other neat feature is when you're taking a break or you finish riding, you want to move your goggles up. You can move your visor all the way up to the up position and stow your goggles, and it just gives you a neat little area. So you can see there that they're kind of stowed out of your way while the helmet's on your head. And you can, you know, if you're climbing or whatever and you need some airflow, you can always kind of stow them up here. And then when you get ready to ride, obviously move them down. You can move the visor back down to shade the sun or wherever you may be. But so yeah, so this is a close-up of the camera mount. You can see here there's a little spring clip here that takes it out, and this piece actually comes with the helmet. So what you actually get is this piece here, and you can see it's like a little spring clip here that kind of holds it in, and it will house any normal camera accessory like a GoPro, and just put your screw through. Pretty good helmet so far. I wouldn't say it's super, like I said, airflow through it, but it didn't feel any warmer than the other helmet I have. I did like the visor. The strap seemed to not get in the way. It's a pretty good fit. It's not too super thick, and the visor seemed to stay in place, so pretty first initial impressions of the helmet's fairly good. So I'm going to keep riding it and probably get some time on it with the goggles, and I'll come back and give you my ride impressions after a few rides. So, all right, that'll do it for this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Click the bell for notifications, and comment down below. Do you have this helmet? Do you like it? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Is there any recommendations of helmets that you guys think are really good that I should try? Like I said, I think I'm waiting on the Oakley DRT5 that was announced at Eurobike this year. I think that helmet to me seems like it's got a good set of features. I don't know what the price would be. So yeah, until next time, skill up and ride.